Welcome to Energize Coaching. Here we're going to take a look at the Nautilus Glute Drive. Now, there are a couple of options when it comes to using this machine. You can either bring in the quads a little bit and we make this a lower body power or strength-based movement, or you can try and isolate the glutes, limit that range of motion a little bit, and just keep the quads out of that movement. So we're going to look at both of those options shortly, but before that we'll talk about the setup. So as you can see, we've got the plates loaded onto the sidebars. We've got Alfie's feet in position, and what we're trying to do here is have a hip width stance, and we're aligning the ankles, the knees, and the hips to make sure we've got good alignment throughout the set. Okay, now the placement of the belt is important. We need to make sure that's directly above the glutes. We mustn't have it too low down. We need to keep that over the glutes to ensure that we've got the weight placement just right. Okay, now we're going to go into the start of the set. So what Alfie needs to do is bring this up and then push these side supports away, so then Alfie's in full control of the weight. Okay, now notice that the chin's tucked. We want to keep that spine in neutral, keep good alignment through there. If we drop the head back, what you'll find is there'll become an arch in the lower back, and we want that spine in neutral throughout the set. Okay, now watch closely. As Alfie starts to lower down, there'll come a point where the knees start to drop off. Now, if Alfie pauses there, the first thing he does when he drives into the plate is fire his quads, because that's going to bring the knee back to this position, and then that will allow the glutes to come up and extend the hip. So, if you're trying to isolate the glutes, you do not want to go that low. Okay, if you come up to there, okay, this time as you go down, we're going to go down to that point before the knee starts to drop off, which is about there. And then we're going to fire the glutes at the bottom in the lengthened position and drive up and peak contract at the top. Okay, and now we're just going to build a rhythm, making sure not to allow these knees to drop off. Now, it's important to note, we're challenging the glutes here in the shortened range. Now, if you are sat in an office all day and you're sat at a desk and this is in a bent position, it would make sense to do your mobilization work and ensure that you can get full hip extension before you do exercises like this. Okay, now here's where the magic happens. If you're trying to isolate the glutes and you've got towards the end of the set now where you're starting to fail, we can now bring in the hip thrust option. So keep going, Alfie. We can now go down a little bit lower, get a little bit of assistance from the quads, and as he drives up, the glutes are still working, but the quads now are taking a percentage of that work. And we probably get 3 or 4 more reps out of this set now, just by including the quads in this movement a little bit more. Good, give me one more. Excellent, keep that chin tucked. Boom, okay, and the supports come back in. So just let me recap that. If you're trying to isolate the glutes, go down low enough to extend the glute, but not too low so that the quads jump in. We can save that to the end of the set, and we can get the quads to help out at the end of the set once the glutes are starting to tire. Okay, so that's the Nautilus Glute Drive with a hip thrust and a glute bridge option.